Look, I want to talk to you honestly about something that almost nobody really explains. And that's why so many people reach their 40s or mid 40s and suddenly start feeling strange in their own body, even though in their head they still feel young, motivated, curious, and full of ideas. Because mentally you don't feel old at all, you still feel like yourself, you still want to do things, travel, work, enjoy life, stay independent and active. But physically something feels different and you notice that you get tired more easily. Your legs don't feel as strong. Carrying things feels heavier than it used to. And if you make a bit more effort one day, the next day you're sore for much longer. Even though nothing dramatic has happened and you're not sick or injured, you just feel weaker. And almost everyone around you tells you the same thing, that it's normal, that it's age, that it happens to everyone, that you're not 25 anymore. And for a long time, most people accept that explanation because it sounds logical and comforting. And I accepted it too, thinking that this is just how life works and that getting older means your body slowly goes downhill. But the truth is that muscle doesn't disappear just because you had a birthday. It disappears because, little by little, your lifestyle changes in ways that tell your body it doesn't need to be strong anymore, and you don't even notice it happening. Over the years, without realizing it, most people start moving less, sitting more, avoiding physical effort, choosing comfort whenever possible, feeling busy, tired, stressed, and wanting everything to be easy. So they walk less, lift less, challenge their body less. And from the body's point of view, that sends a very clear message, which is that strength is no longer necessary. And the body adapts not to hurt you, but to save energy because muscle is expensive, it costs calories, it needs protein, it needs recovery, and if it's not being used, the body slowly gets rid of it. Not suddenly or dramatically, but quietly, year after year, which is why you don't notice it at first and you just lose a little this year, a little next year, and a little more after that, until one day you realize you're much weaker than you used to be. Another big reason this happens after 45 is food, especially protein, because as people get older, their eating habits often change. They eat smaller meals, snack more, rely more on bread, sweets, or quick food, and eat less real protein without realizing it. So even if they're eating enough calories, their body doesn't have enough building material to repair muscle. And since your body always prioritizes vital organs, when protein is low, muscle is what gets sacrificed first, which is why many people over 45 are not undereating, but underproteined. They eat, just not what their body actually needs. Hormones also change with age. Of course, testosterone, estrogen, growth hormone, insulin sensitivity. All of these slowly shift and affect muscle. But something important that almost nobody tells you is that hormones respond to how you live. Because if you lift weights, sleep well, eat properly, and manage stress, hormones improve. And if you're constantly exhausted and overwhelmed, they suffer. So aging is not destiny, it's context. Another thing that plays a big role is fear because after a certain age, many people become more cautious and afraid of getting hurt, feeling pain, or overdoing it. So they start choosing very safe, very easy workouts with light weights and no real challenge or progression. And that feels smart in the short term. But over time, it makes you weaker because your body needs challenge to stay young, not reckless or crazy workouts, but smart, controlled challenge that feels difficult but safe. Recovery is also different after 40 because when you're young, you can sleep badly, eat poorly, train hard, and still recover. But after 45, recovery becomes part of the program. And if you don't sleep well, your body doesn't rebuild. If you're stressed all the time, your nervous system stays in survival mode, and survival mode doesn't build muscle. It just keeps you functioning, which is why many people train and eat reasonably well but never really improve, because their life is so mentally exhausting that their body never gets a chance to recover properly. Then there's blood sugar and insulin sensitivity because over time, especially with sedentary habits and poor diet, many people become less sensitive to insulin, which means nutrients don't reach muscles as efficiently, fat storage increases, muscle repair decreases, and people feel softer and weaker even if their weight hasn't changed much. Now, the good news is that all of this can be improved at any age, not overnight, and not magically, but realistically. And the first step is making strength training non-negotiable. Not something you do when you feel motivated, not something you start and stop, but something that's part of your life 2 to 4 times per week, forever. Challenging your legs, back, chest, shoulders, and core. Through basic movements your body understands. The second step is making protein intentional, not leaving it to chance, but actually thinking about whether you're getting it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, through eggs, fish, chicken, yogurt, cottage cheese, meat, tofu, or whatever works for you, because your body needs those building blocks every day. The third step is respecting recovery, understanding that sleep is not optional, that 7 to 8 hours is part of staying strong, and that managing stress is not self-care nonsense, but muscle protection through walking, breathing, disconnecting, and resting. The fourth step is moving every day, and not necessarily going to the gym, but walking, using stairs, stretching, and reminding your body regularly that it is meant to move. The fifth step is paying attention to nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, B12, zinc, and omega 3, because low levels quietly destroy progress, and sometimes fixing a deficiency changes everything. And finally, there's mindset, which is huge because people who stay strong after 45 don't think they're getting old. They think they're building their future. They train for independence, confidence, freedom, travel, and enjoying life without fear of becoming fragile, and that motivation lasts. And results come slowly but surely, first with more energy, then more strength, then better posture, better body composition, and more confidence over months and years. Until one day you realize you're stronger at 55 than you were at 40, which happens every day to normal people who decide to care. So if you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Muscle doesn't disappear because you age. It disappears because you stop telling your body it matters. And the moment you start sending that message again, your body listens, no matter how old you are.